Hey y'all, it's Brady. Welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me. If you are brand new here, hello, welcome. We are so excited to have you here. We are a family of 4. It is myself, my husband, our 6-year-old, and our 3-year-old. And we also, if you can hear her trying to get into the locked trash can, that's our 70-pound wannabe lapdog shepherd mix. She's one of the family. Yeah, crazy. That is true. So, you're going to see some mess. You may hear some noise, but that's real life. We have kiddos running around. We are working on meal prep today. That's what I wanted to share with you. So on my list, I want to cut up some green bell peppers. I think I have some other colored peppers in there. Onions, cucumbers. We'll see if the lettuce is any good. Because we've got some lettuce that's been hiding down in the crisper for a little bit. And if it is still good, I want to make sure that we utilize that and not throw it away. So we'll see, and I'll let you know as we go along how that was. I also want to make a bunch of fried chicken to make some for dinner, and then also put some in the freezer. And I make my own like homemade fried chicken tenders, so I'll show you how I do that. I've got about, interruption, hold on. Okay, potty break done. Now we can get back to what we were talking about. So what was I talking about? Okay. I also need to meal prep some lunches for my husband to take to work. I don't know if you're not new here, I'm really glad to have you back. And you've probably seen in grocery hauls that we had been buying at the start of him going back to work after this whole pandemic thing. We started sending him like the Healthy Choice steamers, something like that, just super quick. He could just pop in the microwave at work. Well, one of them that he really liked was a chicken and broccoli Alfredo sort of thing. And so I just recreated my own. And so I did that last week. So I'm actually going to insert that here at the beginning of the cooking video because I never did end up filming anything else for meal prep that week. Then I also, this week, my idea is like a keto version Italian soup, like an Italian wedding soup. So I'm going to put the recipe link down in the description box for you. I am loosely following that, so you'll see that I didn't do everything she did. I didn't make homemade meatballs, but it turned out, I think it's going to turn out really well. So we shall see. So let's jump right into the cooking. I'll show you what I did last week for the chicken broccoli Alfredo bake type thing, and then I'll meet back up with you at the end after all the cooking's done and let you know what we got done. Okay, so real quick before we jump into the video, here's that broccoli Alfredo chicken bake. I'll list the ingredients down below for you. It was just super simple though. Half a jar of Alfredo sauce, the chicken, the broccoli, some heavy whipping cream and garlic powder. Bake at 350 until it is all tender and cooked through, and it made enough servings for my husband to take all 5 days. And then let's get started with the Italian wedding soup. I'm going to use some baby spinach. I think that's a 10-ounce bag. This is a 32-ounce container of chicken broth. We've got the minced garlic from the Members Mark Sam's Club brand. I've got a bag of the Members Mark rice cauliflower and a bag of the Kroger brand reduced fat turkey meatballs. I'm also going to use some parsley that is dried, Italian seasoning. Obviously, if you've got fresh parsley, that would be even better. I have got my Dutch oven here, which is just a cast iron Dutch oven lined or coated in, what is that, like enamel or, I don't know, ceramic? I don't know what the word is. So I'm just going to start this out on like medium heat or so. And I apologize, I'm flipping you around trying to get you the best shot here. But I am just going to add in all of my ingredients except for my spinach. I'm going to add that in at the very end when it is completely done cooking. That way we have, we don't have like super disintegrated spinach. And side note, as I'm recording this here, sorry you're staring at a pan while we're moving around, but I promise we're getting started. But side note, my husband has already been taking this meal this week for lunches. He said it is delicious. The spinach has done very well in reheating it each day. it has not been an issue. So what I did is the first day I just put all that together, and then I served it. I put it in his thermos warm from the stove, and he just took it that way. And then each day we've just reheated it and put it in his thermos, or he has reheated it at work. So I'm just putting the entire bag of the frozen meatballs into the pot. You could, now you're going to see in the description box with the recipe that I am linking, that they call for making your own meatballs. I think that is great. I would love to make my own meatballs. However, not making my own meatballs turned this into 5 minutes worth of prep to throw all this in a stock pot, about 30 minutes to 40 minutes to cook on the stove, and then we had lunches for the week. So you can go whichever way that you prefer. I have made and enjoy making homemade meatballs. When I've done that, I've made extra and put them in the freezer. However, you can do whichever way you want. So I added the meatballs, I added the entire container of chicken stock. You can use beef stock, you can use turkey stock, vegetable stock. If you've got homemade bone broth, whatever you've got, put it in here. Just note that I did then put in about 3 cups of water to this to make sure that there was enough liquid. If you are going to do this in your crock pot, which is also an option on low, you are going to want to put in less water because it is not going to evaporate. So I would say like 1.5 cups, maybe 2 cups. So you can see here I'm adding each cup of water. But like I said, do a little less if you're doing this in the crock pot. One other thing, like I said, with the parsley, so you could do fresh chopped parsley here. That would be great. I just didn't have any, and we were using what we had. But you can also, if you have fresh parsley, add a little bit of the chopped fresh parsley on top of your bowl of the soup when you serve it. You can also add some grated or shredded Parmesan cheese when you serve this as well. That would be delicious. I think the recipe even calls for that. We did not end up doing that with this, but you certainly could. So I'm just putting in here the dried parsley and the Italian seasoning and just letting this cook together. I think I also ended up at one point adding a little bit of either onion powder or minced onion. I'm not sure. But there goes our bag of frozen rice cauliflower. So this was perfect also because it gave the cauliflower time to cook through. So I didn't pre-cook that first. I just dumped all this in there frozen and room temperature broth and water. And obviously the garlic and spices, and then just let it come to a simmer with the lid on. And I just stirred it every so often. And this turned out really spectacular. This definitely got us 5 large servings. If you made your own meatballs and you made sure that those meatballs were keto approved or lower carb, high fat approved, whatever, then you would be certain that this dish is that. But I'm going to tell you that for sure this is a lower carb option because you do not have a bunch of extra stuff. I did not add noodles to this, which would be in a typical Italian wedding soup. You would normally have like the acini or the orzo, something like that in there. So I did not add that, and it turned out great. I am just stirring this and adding in my spinach after about 30 to 40 minutes of cooking. And I actually turned the heat off at this point and just stirred in the spinach and let it kind of all come together, and that was it. And this turned out spectacularly. And like I said, I didn't want to add it in from the beginning and it get too wilted and just kind of disintegrate, but in reheating it has done extremely well without falling apart or anything like that. And my husband said this was delicious. He raved about it. Yeah, so this is definitely a winner. Like I said, I have in the description box below a recipe that I began to follow and then sort of tweaked my own Definitely tweaked in the meatball department, but like I said, this was super easy. Super easy. And this is also something that I think would be great if you wanted to plan for a meal for your family for dinner. You could very easily put this in the crock pot in the morning. You could then come home, or whoever gets home first, dump in a bag of spinach or kale or whatever you have, any green like that would work. And then just, if you wanted to add the pasta element, you could just pour in that pasta as well, because it only takes a few minutes as well, because the pasta is those like really fine pearl size. If you wanted to do something like that. Otherwise, just add the spinach or kale and, stir it around, give it time to wilt, and give everybody time to get home and take their shoes off and wash their hands and set the table, and boom, done. You have got a delicious dinner also if you did this in your crock pot. So, and you could do any kind of meatballs that you prefer. Before I turn the heat off here, I did add in some extra virgin olive oil just for a little bit of fat to be included in this, since I did use the reduced fat turkey meatballs. So yeah, I think that did give it a nice little element as well. And that is it. Guys, I am telling you, when I say this was so simple, I am hooked on prepping a one pot or one baking dish for my husband's lunches forever. Like, he's loving it because he's getting a real meal. It's something quick that he can either heat up or just heat up and put in a thermos before he leaves. But it's not super heavy on his stomach and all the heat at work. He is loving this, and I love it because it is super duper easy for me. I have like no qualms about putting this together on Monday and then just divvying out the servings the rest of the week. Boom, done. And this is a really healthy option. He's getting in veggies and good protein. And like I said, we did like I showed you at first, we did the chicken broccoli Alfredo bake. You could add other veggies. You could add spinach to that. I'm thinking about doing one where I do like chicken, broccoli, pesto, garlic, and a little bit of cream sauce in the baking dish. So we'll see. We may try that next week. But here is a look at the final serving. He is super excited about this. And like I said, it was a big hit. So once I got that prepped, I wanted to jump in and erase and re-establish our menu for the week. I am doing this on a Monday whenever I filmed all of this, and then I'm posting this, I believe, for you on Thursday or Friday. Anyhow, Sunday we had grilled chicken and like dinner salads with rolls, and that was delicious. We had some like marinated chicken in the Kroger brand roasted red pepper dressing, and just like half a bottle of that on some chicken breast for a few hours. Threw it on the grill, cut up some veggies and salad stuff, boom, done. And we served it with some potato rolls from Publix. So I'm just going to let the music play here and show you real quick me doing this part of my prep as well. Sorry for the sideways, but we're going to boil some eggs now. So I'm just getting a pot of water with the eggs in there. Pop those on the stove to come to a boil. We've also got our oil for the fried chicken heating up, and a couple of chicken breasts thrown in the pot there to come to a boil as well for rich chicken casserole later in the week. Here is a look at my breading mixture. This is just all-purpose flour with some garlic powder, onion powder, a little bit of salt, pepper, and then I just mixed that up. I started with 4 eggs here, just whisked up, had to add 4 more for about 4 pounds total of just sliced chicken breast. Here's it all breaded up, and I'm just going to put it into the oil and fry it, and you'll get a good look here at what it looks like as it is freshly coming out. Eggs are starting to boil, chicken is starting to boil, we are on a roll. So, real quick here, I'm going to jump in and show you. This is 1 plate stuffed full of chicken that is done, but we've got probably a whole nother batch this size still coming. So all of this is going to end up going to the freezer, and then probably as well some of what's in there. And then we've got 8 pounds of ground beef here that I divided out, flattened out, and got the air out of, labeled them up, and that's what we're looking like. Unfortunately, my battery died while I was trying to get a look at the meatloaf for you, so it is what it is. It was pretty basic, so all I did from there was form it into a loaf, you know, and so I tried to grab my phone real quick at the end and kind of show you what I did, so that'll be in here too. But that's what we're looking like. I'm going to keep frying chicken. The eggs are done. The boiling chicken breasts are done. I've cut up all my veggies that I wanted to get to. So we are moving right along with my list to get prepared for this week and future weeks. Okay, so my battery died, and I have not gotten to show you the whole process of this, but I just took 1 pound of 80/20 ground beef, Worcestershire sauce, those diced onions, 1 egg, and some crushed saltine crackers, some salt, some pepper, and garlic powder, and I am just forming that. I just mixed it all up with my hands, formed it into a loaf here, gonna wrap it in 3 layers of foil, label it, boom, we are ready. Okay, so we have finished up. Let's see, what did I get done? We made the batch cooking Italian wedding soup. He tried that and loves it. We made our menu plan. What else did I get done? We cut up the cucumbers. The lettuce was a no-go. It was too far gone, so we just had to pitch that, unfortunately. And what else? Cucumbers, we cut up a couple of onions. We prepped 4 or 5 bell peppers. I boiled a couple of chicken breasts for a rich chicken casserole later this week. I fried the chicken, so I hope y'all enjoyed seeing that. We did get the ground beef. That's what I realized that I did not tell you about at the beginning of the video, is that I had that ground beef that I needed to make into a meatloaf. And so you saw me briefly before my camera died. You kind of saw how I did the meatloaf, and then we put all that ground beef in the freezer. So not as much done this week as I had hoped, but we definitely got some things done and ready to go for the week. So thank y'all so much for joining me. Let me know down in the comments below how you prepare for the week, and I will talk to you in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.